top drilled Lapis Lazuli, 20 gauge silver, a meter just to be on the safe side. Put it through the top hole, bring it to the middle of the wire, put the two ends together so you can find where the middle of the wire is. There's the ends, and there's the middle. Pinch it, twist it, bend it to the right, bend it to the left, make a loop around your fingers. Look how cute that is. You can use a pen, but I like just making it right around my fingers. Now I'm just going to roll it and get it to the size I want. I think that's good. I'm going to twist it once, or, twist it. Boom. Now that loop is locked in place, and it's good. Now I can have some fun. I'm going to wrap around. I'm just going to do what I did with the other similar rectangularly shaped stone, which is go wrap across, and then wrap across. Two diagonals down this way and one diagonal up this way. So let's do the first one. We're going to have more fun this time. First one, I'm pressing it tight against the stone as I go. And I'm going to go straight down across, but in my own fun way, meaning I'm going to have some little curves and loops going as I go across. So here's my first diagonal across the face of the stone. Now wrap it around the back. And now here comes my next. I'm doing more loops. Oops, that one got caught there. I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm doing a loop and then a little twist back and forth, and then I'm wrapping around the back. Now, this next one, I really like this pattern, so I'm doing it again. I'm going to separate these in the back like this, and I'm actually going to twist them first because that kind of locks it in better. And then let's twist it a couple times. There we go. That's a good lock. Now we're going to come up from the bottom and the side because that will be cool, and make a swirl right here. It's just a fun new pattern I just came up with while trying to hang out with you guys because you guys are so inspiring. So this is going to be like a spiral or a swirl. Whenever you connect two wires and they cross, they can start wrapping around each other and it'll make a spiral, instant spiral. It's like an easy, really fun, cool spiral. And the cool thing about it is after you come out of the spiral, and I'm just moving one, then the other, one, then the other, see? But after you come out of the spiral, you can do other cool things. You can move all over the place. Like, I think this one is just going to come down like here, like that, and do something else later. And this one is going to come up here like this and fill in this area that needs a little bit more going on here, like this. And I think we'll just mirror. Whoops, I thought I was showing you guys. I just bent it back and forth, but I pressed it tight against the stone all the way up, and now I'm just going to follow these curves and make a third one right there because that's cool, and just lock it in like that, right? Cool, right? But what's this guy going to do? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. What should he do? Let's see what's going on in the back. Always want to make sure we secure the back really well. All right, well, while we're back here, let's look at what could get snagged. This could get pulled off and snagged, and that would like mess up a whole lot of it in front. So we don't want that to happen. It's on there pretty tight, but just to be on the safe side, since we're here, we're going to come through here and lock that in for good, right? So pull that in. There's my pliers. And we'll lock, just feed it real carefully through. Because it's 20 gauge. If it was a thin gauge, we could just yank it. But when it's a thick gauge, you can't just yank it. You'll yank everything all over the place and mess up the design you just made. So we got to feed it through carefully. Sometimes you got to be real patient and press it real tight while you're feeding it through. Okay, now check here. Did I mess anything up? I pulled that spiral down while I was doing it. So let's push it back where we want it. See if we can push it back still. Yep. You can push it back. That messes that up. Just push that back where we want it. That was supposed to be more like that. Okay. And this was supposed to be a little bit more like that. This was supposed to be a little bit more like that. Okay. I think we're good. All right. Now back to this guy. Now what can he do to make... Do we want to add any more on the face of it? It looks pretty full, right? Looks pretty. It's filled up. Does it need anything else? I don't think it does, but I feel like this single strand is pretty, but it's a little lonely. Let's just give it a little bit of a friend, and he's right in the position to come right across like this. So he's going to join his friend right here and just follow that pattern. See that? And now we're going to have 4 strands coming across the top, and that is so cool. Look at that. I never planned that. That's just, I hardly ever plan anything. That's the good thing, and that's the terrible thing. That's just life. Nothing is planned, and everything comes out amazing. People who actually plan their lives are terrified by me, and I'm fascinated by them. How can you plan your life? That's amazing. I wish I knew how. But see, this right here is great. See those 4 strands? Only problem is it's secure pulled this way, but there's nothing pulling it from this way. So this is still a little wobbly. So we got to figure out how to lock it down now. Let's see, what could we anchor it to? We could anchor it to these guys, and that would strengthen it. Anchor it to these 2 strands. And what would we do? We don't want to put anything more in front of the face. In fact, I want to move this down a little bit. I want to adjust some of this. Whoops. And I want to spread these out a little bit like that. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so these guys need to be locked on this side. I think the easiest way is going to be, this looks like it's easy to grab down here. We're just going to come all the way down. Just come all the way down here. Just come through here. Grab that. That'll strengthen that even more. And it'll strengthen everything. Everything will be strengthened. The more you make like a matrix or like a web, the more you're strengthening your grip of the wire over the stone. But you gotta be careful, because you could always make it too messy. You don't want it to be too messy. And this is messy in the back. Nobody's gonna see the back as long as they don't wear it wrong. Don't you ever wrap something for someone and then they like put it on backwards and all your messiness in the back is showing, and they're like, oh, it looks so good, and you're like, you're not even wearing it right. What are you talking about? Maybe that only happens to me. I don't know. Let's kind of pull that tighter carefully. I'm holding everything in place because I don't want anything to get wonked out while I'm yanking on it. Okay, did that work? It didn't really work. It's pulling it, but I need to pull it more from that direction. What can we do? Can we actually have more wire come up at the top? We're gonna have to have more wire come up at the top. So this wasn't a waste. It helped lock it in right here, but we're gonna have to have, I'm gonna pull as tight as I can before I move on. We're gonna have to have more wire. And I just love it the way it is. I don't want to do anything else to it. But I think we're going to have some more coming up on this side. I don't know. Yeah. Well, let's see. We didn't lock it in yet, so I'm speaking too soon. Let's see, if we just come up like that, it'll look cool. But if we come up from around here, yeah, that's going to look better anyway. All right, so we're going to come up, try not to make it too busy. We're getting close to getting it too busy, but we're going to come across here and lock that in. There we go. Everything's stronger. Everything's better. Now we're just scarfing the top, wrapping the scarf around the little face at the top, and boom. Now we can cut these 2 halfway across, tuck them in, bam. Well, that is different. I've never done a wrap like this. It's a little different. There's some different stuff going on. There's a lot more wire than I wanted to use, but the stone is pretty uniform. It's not like the stone has these wild characteristics that we were afraid to cover. The stone is just genuinely a very pretty dark blue with a little bit of cloudiness going on in there. So I think that was pretty good. I think that was pretty fun. Just make that curve a little more in that direction. And let's tighten up all this in the back. This could be tightened right like that. Crimped that. That's crimped. That's good. That's strong. Feel anything moving. These could just be crimped a little bit. They're just moving a little tiny bit. That's good. Everything's in place. Everything feels good. Everything feels strong. You can yank on it. It doesn't move. I think we're good. Now we could turn this a quarter turn, put a chain through it, or we can just add 3 jump rings, which I like doing better because it adds like another dimension. So let's do it.